So after a good spiritual cleansing and a couple minutes of meditation, can I finally come and talk about Malcolm and Marie? God, it was just too much. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am the Painted Fool, and this space is for you. Welcome to the bonfire. Also, welcome to the grounds of fertility. Here we are teachable and we apply the things we learn in our lives and we share the results, those lessons. We share those lessons and call them gifts. We also have elders and we are not wandering lone wolves in these streets without any guidance. We apply the guidance of the elders for a smooth and prosperous life, for that is the only life they want for us to live. And if they don't, they're not elders. If you don't know who I am a full-time artist. I teach art to the little ones. I teach art to adults. I am also a children's book illustrator and the creator and producer of the YouTube art series, The Painted Fool's Paint House, which is a show for children ages 1 to 7, teaching you how to create art, make it come to life, and help the next person. I do many different things as a multimedia artist, and if you were ever curious about what I do, my website is jgreenartificial.com. Thepaintedfool.com is where you'll find more information about this space here. I have a Discord server for those who like Discord. I also have an Instagram @thepaintedfool and Twitter paintedfoolpod. Feel free to hit me up, DM, whatever you want to do. For those of you who have watched the previous video that I released about the Britney Spears documentary, there is another podcast episode I just dropped a couple hours ago that explores more information that Britney watched the documentary. And there's more information out there about Sam Asghari and just what's happening right now. So go ahead and give it a listen and tell me what you think about that. Feel free, as you know, you can message me in any of my platforms and let me know. I also get into a little bit of my connection with some of the albums and all that good kind of stuff. And maybe I'll explore it once again and talk about the music. And then after that, I may kind of like, you know, go somewhere else with it. You can find the podcast on multiple platforms. You have Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, and so on and so forth. All right, so let's talk about this Malcolm and Marie movie. My goodness, because let me tell you, a lot of people are like touting this movie as like one of the most profound and poignant movies in life. Other people are celebrating it in different ways. I've heard about it through Twitter actually. You know, I frequent Twitter. So I was scrolling and I'm seeing Malcolm and Marie. I'm like, what is this? And I saw little clips and pictures of the movie, but I didn't really know what it was about. So I give it a watch. I thought it was going to be this amazing, beautiful love story that was kind of, you know, just a nice love story. Boy, was I wrong. By the way, there are probably going to be some spoilers here, so you might want to click out now. Oh my God, it was like 2 hours. Okay, let me relax. So it's filmed in black and white, and it's filmed in the same setting in this home, and it focuses on the dialogue. So just a quick plot of the story. Malcolm and Marie are a couple. They are walking in the house. Malcolm is a film director, and they just got finished doing a screening of like a premiere of the film. And he was elated of just how it was received and the good positive feedback he received, and he did a speech and everything like that. Now you notice in the movie that Marie is just kind of, she's a little shut down, but she's replying to him. She's, you know, replying to Malcolm, but she's a bit passive aggressive in how she's replying to him. You know, she's cooking for him and even making his favorite food or whatever, even though there's something we're about to learn. So it comes to find out the issue is that in his announcement or in his thank you speech, he thanked everyone except her. We don't realize how important it was until we find out the actual plot of the movie. We learn that the main character of the film is of a drug addict. Now we learn about Marie's past, that she was an ex-drug addict, and Malcolm was the one who helped her along her way to recovery. She felt as though that her life was crucial to the story. The movie starts with them arguing, but then it gets deeper. It becomes like a flow chart or a display of their trauma. So she's kind of venting about how she doesn't feel seen, she doesn't feel heard, because she's also an actress and she wanted to be the lead behind the movie. And he's like, well, I was helping you, spending my time helping you through your addiction. You still needed to work for the role and you weren't willing to work, you gave up. And she said, because I was busy, you know, helping you out, and I was busy sacrificing my time for you and this and that and the other. It keeps getting deeper. She thinks that all her purpose in his life was to fill that role, was to be the content for the character. And he's like, well, actually, no, I've had plenty of women before you that were addicts I was helping, and I loved and things of that nature, but it's hard for you to accept that I love you for you. And it was a moment where she didn't realize that. You know, you learn in the movie that they didn't really know each other. As much as they were together, you see just how traumatic and just how undealt with a lot of their issues were. And it forces the viewer to think about themselves and to reflect on their own lives. It reflects on their own decisions. What relationships are you in and why? And are you using one another? Are your relationships to fill a void? And what can you do? Is there anything to save, to salvage, or does it need to be let go? And we just kind of go down this long journey of them going back and forth and them just kind of unearthing their different traumas. So there will be moments where they're about to have sex, or they're about to, like, you know, rekindle or just get along, and then something else surfaces, and it goes down and keeps going and it keeps going. And by the end of the movie, you know, Malcolm, he wakes up and she's not in the bed with him. And well, prior to the very end, she expresses to him, like, yo, just to say thank you, Marie, for how you've been in my life, and thank you, Marie, for how you've helped me along the journey of this movie, and thank you for this, and da-da-da. He eventually says thank you, but then we close out with the movie where he wakes up, she's not in the bed with him, and she's standing by the ocean. And the movie kind of ends open-ended. Many people were celebrating the movie because of how they personally identify with one of the characters. And while some people got more of the bigger picture, others focused on just how they felt about the other person. So some people were identifying with Marie's role of being the one who sacrificed their lives to build the husband's life or the man's life. And other people felt like they were Malcolm in many cases, where they just loved who they loved, and they weren't trying to use them. They genuinely were there for them. It was a combination of just a bunch of that kind of stuff, and it was exhausting. It was draining. No matter how, I understand that it was this long journey down this path of catharsis and just letting things out and letting things surface. I'm like, yo, y'all could have had a therapist. But it was just them unloading on each other in a sense. People thought that it was just them handing it to each other. It was their arguments were just so better. And you could see in the commentary from the watchers and just from people on social media, the different layers that people were identifying the most on, where some people were just identifying with how good they could argue, who was the better arguer, who was the better this. And then there was others who were just like, this is interesting, this is trauma bonding, or this is that. Maybe you identify with the whole critics aspect as being in film or in art or entertainment. You identify with what he was saying. He was speaking on the social commentary of the critics or the viewers, and that was something Marie was focusing on, showing how he could be a bit more introspective. But yeah, it was essentially about both of their investment in the relationship and how things didn't turn out as the way that they thought it would or should, without communicating it directly. So it was, you know, it was communication. It was all the things that happened in a relationship. It's just that for me, the way it went about was just exhausting. So by the time it was over, I was at my shrine, just like, yo, this was too much. Because therapy is such a big deal right now, and I'm so happy that people are talking about therapy a whole lot more. I think therapists would have great dialogue around this movie, and I think that many therapists should use this movie as a way to explore relationships and trauma and projection and all those different things that happen. This doesn't necessarily have to be in your most intimate relationships. It can be in your friendships or your associations or even your business relationships. If you like what you heard, please feel free to like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell notification, and also share the video with others. Sharing is caring, and I like to share. Drop a comment in the comment section, and let's continue the dialogue. Anyway, guys, I'm out. And until such time, peace.